Good morning. My name is Melvin from Daily Guide. Mommy, when we talk about sanitation, we have always talked about attitude not change quite often. But it seems like the call for attitude not change is always, for me, is always directed towards the public, like ordinary people on the streets and across the country. But I want to know specifically what your ministry is doing in terms of driving the agenda of attitude not change to the ministries, the departments, the agencies. I'm asking this question because some of the ministries and departments and agencies, when you enter their washrooms or their toilets, you feel like you are walking in a gutter. The places are very dirty. We talk about people should use the washroom, and after that, you should wash your hands with soap. But some of them, they don't even have water running in their washrooms. They don't even have soap. I remember in 2014, there was a press conference in this very ministry during the cholera era. And then the health minister then was calling on people to change their attitudes towards cleanliness, towards washing hands. But then this very ministry, when you enter the washroom at the time, was very dirty. And when you enter the health ministry's own washroom, was very dirty. So I was wondering, what sort of attitude do we want to change when we ourselves, our attitude is so filthy? Thank you.
The name is Cameron Dodu, and what I want to ask you is this. Probably you have heard and read that Rwanda is one of the cleanest countries in Africa. You also have heard that Singapore is one of the cleanest countries in Asia. How did they achieve this? Would you be prepared to send a delegation to either country to study their methods? Because although you have very good plans, the implementation has always been our problem. When we were growing up and you heard that Tankasi Bao, you ran. They would even come into your kitchens and look into your water pots to make sure that Nkonkomi were not present, and therefore you were posing a danger to yourself through bad hygiene. So everything depends entirely on implementation. And I hope the suggestion I've made that you send delegations to Singapore and Rwanda, at least to see at the practical level how they'll be able to achieve this reputation, will be taken up. Thank you very much.
Nana Poku from Daily Searchlight, please. The young lady should not mind, but I also left the debate too. What of if the ECG and Ghana company, for instance, team up and say that before we give you a meter in your house, you must have a toilet facility in your house. That's a suggestion for you. You can debate it. But my question really is about the plastic bags. Just to corroborate what Cameron just said, Rwanda has banned the use of polythene bags in that country. And it's working effectively. There was a debate as to whether to bring back the paper bag and ban the polythene bag. I don't know what has happened that we did. But can you and the government be bold enough, irrespective of the political bashing from the masses, that because of the menace of polythene bag, we are going to ban a polythene bag? Can it be banned in this country? That's my question. Thank you very much.
I'm from my job online. I want to know what deadline the president has given you to deliver the cleanest city in Africa. That is one. And two, what is your strategy for delivering that? And three, what is the budget for that?
My name is John Kesvin Kumase. Madam Honorable, I remember some time back, somewhere last year, Accra was ranked as one of the most dirty cities in the world, or if like on earth. Now, I want to know, there's this problem. The major problem of sanitation in Ghana is non-enforcement of the sanitation laws. What is your ministry doing to make sure that sanitation laws are effectively enforced? Thank you very much.
The daily guide and on attitudinal change. Yes, when we make the call, it is to all of us, including the one standing behind the podium. It's not a condescending call. It is a call across board. I even mean to go around the press houses also to check out the washrooms so that we are on one page. And I'll come unnoticed. I agree with you. At times you are met with a stench emanating from our washrooms. I believe washrooms should be places that you can sit and drink coffee, eat your food, meditate, and do everything. Our washrooms should be a place to read and, yes, and think. The English people will say muse. You can even write poetry in your washrooms. But it's like we don't want to touch, and yet we have to use. Whatever we do, the washroom should be the #1 neatest place in our house, and our homes, and in our environment. What do we see? It's personal hygiene. We have failed in personal hygiene. They say, or the old adage says, charity begins at home. If you are not personally practicing hygiene, how on earth can you even let your partner, spouse, or child even see what has come out of you? The shit that we do. I'll use that word, excuse me, because we don't want to talk about poo-poo, toilet, shit, fecal matter, but who does it? It's us. It is us. I don't want to use certain analogies. Those who do poo-poo openly, we know them. So what are we doing to ourselves? And I'll repeat, like His Excellency said, when you use a washroom, clean it up before you leave the place. If our systems break down, and I said it in my statement, in the presentation, we need to fix our broken washroom gadgets. It's mandatory, like the gentleman from Daily Guide said. We need to wash our hands. Whether we wee-wee or poo-poo, we need to wash our hands. Because from there, we are going to touch other people. We are even going to touch our mouths and our lips and our eyes. And you know what brings about cholera? It's E. coli. E. coli comes from what? Fecal matter. It's as simple as ABC. This is where we are. And we need to change our attitude. All of us. All of us means all of us. If workers refuse to use broken down structures, the business owners will fix things. So let us respect ourselves with the dignity we need to give to ourselves. So that will answer that one. And Uncle, yes, we've heard you right. It's not only Rwanda and Singapore. In Africa here, you have Morocco. Go to Rabat, go to Marrakesh, go to Fez. They have a system. We have been there. And I have traveled a bit inland Rwanda too. And I'm sure other people have also done it. It is not rocket science. I don't want to go into details concerning these two whatever nations. But at the end of the day, Ghana can do it. We have slum cropping up every day. What is a slum? It comes with all its attendant problems of non-compliance with personal hygienic practices. Because a slum is a slum. It's not a planned dwelling place that you have toilets, water, ECG facilities, bathrooms. No. People come and live there in shacks. What do we do as a nation? So it has a lot of complex issues involved. We'll talk about freedom of movement. Who am I to go and stop him from migrating from Accra to his hometown, or vice versa? This is where we are, and we need to tackle it headlong. So we agree with you, half and half. We need to balance our act. The tankers thing, or Saman, we have them in modern times. How can you enter a home? They will say, we have the guards, sanitation guards and officers who go round. They do go round. And I have a press cutting here, bring it. One municipality has jailed people who flouted the laws. The laws are there. We have everything that we need to prosecute people. Lawyer, please, you come and brief us a bit about those who are trained for the prosecution. The lawyer, Deputy Minister will. You see, it's here. It's not me, Cecilia saying it. About 200 persons have been prosecuted for various sanitation-related offenses as government wages war against indiscriminate disposal of refuse, which is a major cause of flooding. If you go and pour your refuse or your garbage into a drain, what are you doing? You are causing havoc. You are destroying the environment. And you are saying that you are a bad person. People who do that when we are asleep, God has seen all of them. They should stop it. Now, I have read on a platform that, excuse me to say, and I'll say it here as an analogy, that prostitutes are selling people's sperms. Yes. So what are we doing? Should we tell Ghanaians that people are going to use their fecal matter for juju before they stop open defecation? Is that where we are? Is that what we want? The prosecutions are going on. Whoever says the municipalities are not prosecuting hasn't read or hasn't gone round. The sanitation guards are there. They have been put in place to go round. And they are not relenting. And we have given them 110% support.
Last year, the ministry, with the support of the Judicial Service, trained over 140 sanitation and environment officers. We had the training in Accra and in Tamale to bring to light all the sanitation laws which are scattered within various legislation in this country. And I believe this is what has brought about the prosecution of some people across country for various sanitation offenses. The President has also directed us, and we are in the process with the Sanitation Directorate, to put together all the sanitation laws. We've gone very far, and we are securing some funding from the African Development Bank to engage a very good consultant to assist us. We are about 70% through, and in due course we'll update you. Thank you very much, Honorable Minister.
Thank you very much. So you see, working day and night. My joy online. Yes, inshallah, the President will go for 2 terms, and at the end, Accra would have been, and we are on course. God is in control, and the battle is still the Lord's. And to tell you that His Excellency, the President, is so serious with this call to all of us to make Accra the cleanest city and Ghana a clean country, that he has put the Ministry of Sanitation and Water Resources on the top priority list of government to be able to access all the budget that we need for this. That answers the budget. And the strategy is what we spelled out in some of our, some parts of the presentation. If you have ideas, we are welcome. We are welcome to your office. You are welcome to our office. It's a give and take. And if we succeed, it's kudos to all of us, and we will succeed. So please come on board and make Ghana a better place for all of us. Thank you. We have on the
ban on plastics.
Honorable Jato.
No toilets, no electricity.
Yes,
toilets,
we'll speak
no
after I touch a bit on the ban on plastics. We've considered all available options, as you said. And I think you heard me right when I spoke about the quotation on World Earth Day. Do we ban or recycle? We have to make a choice. This is why I spoke about the collaborative efforts between us and the MESTI, Ministry of Environment, Science, Technology, and Innovation. We are talking seriously. My preference is not maybe Honorable's preference, but we have to collaborate to make sure we get the best for this nation. If we can glean 5 billion Ghana cedis and 5 million jobs from recycling, we'll check it against total ban. We even have plastics that are biodegradable. We should not also forget about that. We also have other materials that can replace the plastics, but we are doing the minuses and the pluses. At the appropriate time, we'll bring it out, everybody will contribute, and they will come out with our report. Thank you. Honorable, something on?
I think the Honorable Minister directed that you can't immediately ban the plastics, but we should look for alternatives to the plastics. But before the alternatives comes, we should identify the companies that are recycling these plastics. So we have identified most of them, and then we are in the process of making sure that at least we put them out there for the public to know that the plastics can be reused, so that at least we can send it there. Most of the companies are recycling them, so they can buy them and recycle. That is one. The second one has to do with the PET bottles. The minister has directed that we should engage the various plastic manufacturing companies to see how best they can actually buy the PET bottles. And plans are far advanced to make sure that at least we organize them very well to be able to recycle the PET bottles as well. But to talk about the issue of the Daily Guide reporter saying that the ministries, departments, and agencies, the minister has directed that there should be a competition among the ministries, departments, and agencies, so that at least we can organize some league table for them, and then make sure that every ministry, department, and agency actually go with some standards. We are going to make sure that at least every ministry you go to, at least there's a toilet with all the facilities that are attached. And even some of the ministries, ministers are enjoining us to make sure that at least some of their lighting systems, how it is illuminated, and then the sanitary conditions within the ministries, the departments, and agencies are addressed. So in no time, we will call on the media to join us to be able to work on that. Thank you very much.
Yeah. To add to that, in the ministries, we have sanitation marshals. Charlotte is in charge of them. Yes. So they need to give us a report soon. About the old WhatsApp that cropped up some time ago about Ghana. Ghana is not the dirtiest. I'm not here to argue or banter, but definitely Ghana is not and cannot be. So we should appreciate, you see, Ghanaians, we should appreciate the efforts so far, so that we can build upon the good practices and enhance the image of the country. This, I checked. At times, you know what some of these social media things are. So we need to check on that. Then the linking up the provision of ECG with water. I believe it's rather the bylaws that we should help the enforcement with. They are two separate utility bodies, and I don't think we need to go that way.
My name is Lydia Kukwa Asamoah. I'm a reporter of the Ghana News Agency. I have two questions, but since Deputy says I should. Well, then it's about the Gamma project. I recently had encounter with the Ghana Central Municipal Assembly, which is one of the key facilitators of the Gamma project. And then I also interacted with some of the contractors that are building the project. And they said that the 1,100 Ghana cedis being paid by residents is woefully inadequate. And that they now take the 1,100 to build only the digester, and then the residents have to provide extra money to build the facility. In fact, one of the officials even said the Gamma project had ended, but of course, Minister has said it's ending in 2020. So I want to know the status of it. And the 1,100, is it still being paid for that facility? Thank you.
My name is Samuel Opoku. I'm from Accra FM. Madam, last week during your meeting with Gamma at their office, you made mention that President, through the government, have allocated 197 million Ghana cedi to help fight the flooding situation within the country. So you want to know the progress so far, if the money has been released to the ministry to fight the flooding, and how things are also going. Thank you very much.
My name is Osman Abadan from Radio Good. I actually have two questions, but I'll stick to one. Okay, thank you very much. The first one is, I live in Ablekuma, and the water situation in that area, Ablekuma, yeah, Ablekuma, Awushi, Ablekuma, Suchum, going to Pokwasi, that area. And the water situation there, the pipes, they open on Tuesdays and on Saturdays. So for the whole week, you have only 2 days to get water. The rest of us who, if you don't have a poly tank to store water, or maybe to, that means you won't get water for the whole area. And there are other adjoining communities who don't even have water. So it makes it difficult for those of us who live in that area to get water. We rely on the tank that we buy, and sometimes we don't even know where they get that water from. So I want to know what you are doing to ensure that you get water to.
Hello, I'm Elliot from The Finder. The 2 landfill sites in Accra, the one in Kpong and in Sawam. As we speak now, there's a lot of pressure on it. Actually, it's getting full. I want to know what the ministry is doing to salvage the situation.
I'm Maxwell. I write for The Chronicle. Yes, please. Waste to energy, waste to compost, collaborating with PPAs, transforming the society and curbing this waste, issues. We've been hearing this for quite too long. When at all are we seeing this in practice?
Thank you. My name is Emilia Inin Abe. I write for the Daily Graphic. I was actually happy when, Madam, you referred to the Earth Day quote by the U.S. Embassy. But there is a part that I'm very interested in that says that 82% of Ghana's plastic waste could be recovered and recycled with existing technologies into value-added products valued at $2 billion per year. There are young people, this is the part, that's the end of the quote actually. There are young people with solutions, or there are entrepreneurs with solutions to this problem. And I was also happy when Madam treated entrepreneurs or business people to invest in waste management. What I want to know is, what is the ministry or what is the government doing, that the government have in place for entrepreneurs with proposals or project proposals that have positive social environment and environmental impacts for us? Thank you.
Regarding the Gamma projects, I must emphasize that the beneficiary contribution for a stand-alone, and the stand-alone means all-inclusive, the superstructure, the substructure, the toilet seats, the beneficiary contribution remain 1,100. It's come to our notice that a lot more people who are not part of us are also going around building for the population, and they are creating the impression as if they are working for us. But because they are not competitive, they cannot match the price. All they tell you is that if you pay 1,001, it cannot build a facility for you. So add more. Those people
are not directly from the Gamma projects. They are not the ones that we have trained. There are people who are going on their own, building for people, and because they want to get enough money to match up with the price of government. Government has taken up chunk of the cost. About 70% is financed by government. And so the 1,001 is not all that they are paying. The rest is reimbursed through the project by government, and that is about 3,000 Ghana cedi is being paid by government for the facility. So nobody should pay beyond 1,100. Anybody comes to you, it means he either is not one of us, or, I mean, in the society we have those people who also go around. Either they want to make money on their own, or, excuse me to use the word, fraudsters. They are trying to take money from you. So we want to educate the public that if anybody comes to you and asks you to pay more, please don't do. Just refer the issue to the municipal assembly or to the ministry or to the project, and it will be addressed. We also want to emphasize that there are people who are also going around building the digester. They are not trained. They don't have the knowledge. We have taken it up to bring on board a lot more people. Yes, it's job creation. So if you are interested in building the facility, just register with the ministry. We will give you proper training, and then we will deploy them to the rest of the country to go and support the building of these facilities. If you pay money to anybody who is not certified or trained by the ministry or the project, you have a facility which might not be useful after 3-4 months. So we want to warn the public to be careful that if you need any toilet, just refer to the municipal assembly who are trained, and they have dedicated people who can build for you. If you're also interested to build the facility, please contact us. We will soon advertise in the newspapers to invite people who are interested in building these facilities as a means of creating jobs. And once you are well trained and satisfied, you can now deliver, because we know you, we will publish your names, and if you deliver and there's a problem, we can easily call on you. But for now, it is 1,100, and we have no intention of increasing this facility. Thank you.
The Accra FM gentleman asked about the 197 million Ghana cedis. It is for flood control. It is not in my ministry. I was just re-echoing the statement the Honorable Minister for Works and Housing made on the floor of Parliament when I went around Gamma and Gaslip and other agencies under my ministry. It is true. They have given out the contracts, and the list was released in Parliament. I have a copy of the list. You can pass by if you don't have and you want to see the list, so that you can also go around and monitor. The government has given that money, 197 million Ghana cedis, and work is ongoing. The works in Works and Housing means hydrological works, and they have the engineers and the requisite staff to engineer our drainage systems. So they have the money, and they are working on that. The Radio Go gentleman asked about the Ablekuma water situation. At the end of the day, it means you have 2 days of water supply, and that can be harrowing. I'm wondering whether you have reported this to the Ghana Water Company Limited to know whether there is a problem. Mr. Devier, he has reported it to you now. I will entreat you kindly to always let the authorities know so that they can rectify the situation. He says you have just reported. So on behalf of Ghana Water, I believe you will handle that and let us take his number and then let him, yes. Finder wants to find out about landfill sites, the pressures. It is true. I must state it emphatically here that His Excellency President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo will be the first president under whose able leadership landfill sites will be engineered in a modern way. And very soon means very soon. We'll invite all of you. Who amongst us has ever visited a landfill site in operation? None? Please, you have. Please, we will have to organize a trip again You should visit so that when it's engineered, you know what this government has been able to do. Visiting there means visiting. So come with your camboos and everything, and we'll give you masks. Otherwise, you cannot go through the place. That's why in my presentation, I asked how many of you know what happens to your garbage. Until I came to the ministry, I had never visited a landfill site, and you should. Since Ghana was created, the piles and piles and piles of garbage, they're all lying there. We cannot eat it. And yet, we can recycle to provide jobs, to provide money. People come and invest and pay taxes into the economy. So it's a lying gold mine, I should say. People are doing galamsey. They should help us do garbage. That will be good. Because you can extract methane gas from the heaps, which can produce gas. We went to the fecal sludge plants. They are flaring the gas. We can get compost. We can generate energy. People have come, they can even get diesel. I'm thrilled. Someone too asked, we've heard this, we've heard this, we've heard this. Well, this government is 2 years, 3-4 months, and we are going to satisfy your need. So pray for us that we succeed. And believe, yes, we've finished with that. And the daily graphic, Madam, it is true. We need to encourage the youth. Very talented. That is where the energy of the president is directed. That's why he created the 100,000 jobs, NAPCO and YEA. The youth are our future. We will encourage them, and we will partner them with others. We've been receiving proposals, the serious ones we are zeroing on. So if you know of any youth that is interested, that has something innovative, please let them come and see us. We are ready to offer the enabling environment for him to thrive.
Ghana, 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 we say yeah, yeah. Ghana, 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 we say yeah, yeah, yeah. Cleanliness, so yeah, cleanliness, so yeah, yeah.
The word is cleanliness, so
Ghana, 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 we say yeah, yeah. Ghana, 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 we say yeah, yeah. Cleanliness, so yeah, cleanliness, so yeah, yeah. The theme for my national project is bad sanitation, our attitude. And I go by bad sanitation situation in our country, Ghana, is a thorn in my flesh. Due to the bad sanitation situation in our country, Ghana, I take up the challenge as the Queen of Sanitation. In order to educate my peers on good sanitation, I took up this challenge because even the Holy Book in Proverbs chapter 22 verse 6, train up a child the way he should go, and when he grows, he will never depart from it. Yes, my name is Dede. I am an African living in Ghana, Accra to be precise. Because of my unique qualities, I am made a queen to champion our sanitation problems, not only in Ghana, but Africa as a whole. I have been given the mandate to educate my peers on good sanitation. Our attitude has given them the authority to cause sicknesses in our society, which is a major problem facing us as Africans. That, as in the most of the various communities in Ghana, is a thorn in my flesh. Can you imagine? Malaria kills one child every 30 seconds, 3,000 children every day, and over 1 million die each year, mostly children under 5 years old. Dirty water breeds mosquitoes and cholera, and mosquito bite causes malaria. Diseases will not give us peace if we do not stop throwing rubbish out of our streets when we are in our cars, dumping of rubbish into our gutters, defecating into our gutters, littering along our streets, communities, and beaches. Sometimes we must stand in courage when it is not popular to do so, and risk it at all times. My peers and I, who are the future leaders, have to learn what is right and how to keep our mother Ghana clean. So my peers and parents, let us all come together to keep Ghana clean. Thank you and God bless you all.